Grow a garden, paper squishies. What's the correlation here? Where's the similarity? Where's the connection? Well, you read the title of this video. Today, I'm going to try and make grow a garden paper squishies. Let's go. What? A blue working surface?
What is this sorcery?
A little bit. I have my notebook here so that I don't ruin my working surface. For this first one, I'm going to be making a chili pepper paper squishy. I don't know, it's just an iconic and stylistic looking crop in Grow a Garden. I don't even know if this is even a valuable crop in the game, but what I do know is that it's not going to be easy turning this into a real life squishy. Just a heads up here, I'm going to be drawing a lot of templates in this video, so this is going to be a little bit confusing. But hear me out here, it's going to work out in the end. So this here is going to be one of many segments of this chili pepper squishy, which is easy to see as this chili pepper is very blocky. Using the face of the block, I'm drawing the dimensions of the next template, which is the biggest piece of the chili pepper. I'm going to cut out the template real meticulously, and just like the last piece, I'm creasing the edges to make a 3D shape. There we go. This is going to stand right below the first block as so. And whew, I only made 2 pieces and I'm already getting a little bit of crafting fatigue, but we're gonna trek on with determination. We've now arrived at the harder part of this paper squishy challenge,
the curvature.
If you look closely at the Grow a Garden chili pepper, you can see that it's made up of these little trapezoidal prisms that increasingly get smaller as you reach the tip. If you don't know what trapezoidal prisms are, it's basically a 3D trapezoid. Trapezoidal prisms can look like this, but it can also look like this, which is what we are after today. So here I am, drawing a trapezoidal prism template. If you're wondering how on earth I'm able to come up with these templates in the wind just like that, buddy old pal,
I didn't.
I had to really think about how the shapes of my templates geometrically transform into the 3D shapes that I wanted prior to filming. Hopefully this will turn out the way I expect it to be. Next, I'm folding all of the edges inwards so that my finished product looks like a trapezoidal prism. Thank goodness things turned out the way I expected them to be. As for placement, this piece will go underneath the large block at an angle, which is the reason why I made trapezoidal prisms. As I mentioned earlier, these segments will get increasingly smaller as we reach the tip of the chili pepper, so I'm using our last template and shrinking it down to form a smaller trapezoidal prism. This is going to sit at an angle underneath the last segment we just made. With that, I'm just going to proceed and make 2 more of these templates of increasingly smaller size. I have to be honest here, the further along I got into this process, the more tired I became. I'm not very good at working with paper in a
Minuscule scales.
so these 2 pieces took me ages to make and I wasn't feeling it. But eventually I completed all of my templates and these are what I have so far. Briefly, I'm going to move these aside and work on the green stem of the chili pepper. This will be really quick. I'm just going to draw a template for a long rectangular prism that looks something like this. I'm cutting it out real quick and folding the edges along the pencil markings so that we have this long box. And that wraps up our final template for this squishy. Let's gather them all together in front of the camera and we're going to begin coloring. With my red pen, I'm going to color in all of the templates except the last one, which is reserved for the chili pepper stem. It already felt like an eternity, saying that I haven't even made anything 3D yet. Comment down below if the chili pepper crop is anything useful or valuable in Grow a Garden, because I did not just do all of this for nothing. For the stem, I thought this neon yellow color would do the trick. Wait, scratch that, an aqua one.
Wait, no.
Just pick a spring green. That was an unnecessarily difficult decision to make. With the stem and chili pepper pieces colored, let's turn our notebook to a clean page. Sorry if that was an eyesore. We can slowly bring back our pieces, and using a pencil, I'm drawing the studs. It wouldn't be a Grow a Garden item without some studs, right? This was a little bit tricky because I needed to keep in mind the perspective of the studs when it's folded together. The studs on the chili pepper are kind of offset to one side, so I made sure to be mindful of the orientation of my drawings. And I decided to use a pencil instead of a pen because I thought a pen would make the studs stick out a little bit too much. Come to think of it, I should have just used a dark red color pencil. Man, that would have been better. But it's okay though. I think it's time to bring in our tape and polyfill to make our templates 3D. I'm folding some tape from the tape dispenser and taping the edges of the large red template together until I have one flap open like this. I'm stuffing our 3D paper template until it's decently filled, and once that's done, I'm closing the top off. There we go, and I'm going to have to continue this several more times, which is just
So enjoyable.
okay. If I'm being honest, my least favorite part of making a paper squishy is stuffing it and sealing the final flap or edge shut. Polyfill has so many little fibers that when I try to close the final gap off with tape, the fibers cling onto the tape and stick out of the paper squishy.
And that sight is just disturbing.
But I mean, I guess it's necessary because this step is how paper becomes a squishy. But I mean, it's satisfying to see all of the templates become 3D squishies. Finally, we just need to tape the green template into a box shape and stuff it with a little bit of stuffing, closing the edge off, and here are our pieces. To connect the pieces together, I'm rolling pieces of tape into a roll shape, sticking them onto the bottom of one segment and attaching it onto the top of another segment. I had to repeat this process several times, and for the trapezoidal prisms, I needed to connect the pieces together all in the same orientation so that we get that chili pepper curvature. And I also made sure to be mindful of where the studs were located. I ended up ditching one of the pieces, so bye to that. And last thing we need to attach is the stem. And here is our Grow a Garden chili pepper paper squishy. For the most part, I love how this came out. The studs are kind of in the wrong place, but overall the shape is quite impressive for a paper squishy. Let's move on to the next paper squishy. Okay, so for this next item, it's actually not an item, it's a pet. Not trying to objectify pets here. Anyways, this pet is going to be a capybara. Why, you may ask? At this point, capybaras are a recurring animal on my channel. I don't know why. I made a tutorial on how to make a regular capybara paper squishy, then I made a miniature capybara blind bag, and now I'm making a Grow a Garden capybara paper squishy. We've come a long way, but hey, I'm here for it. This template I'm cutting out here is for the capybara head. It's kind of large because it actually has a sizable head, no offense. I'm going to fold the edges inward to form a box, and using this template, I'm going to draw a template for a larger and slightly flatter box template for the body. Clearly, this is not to scale. I've pretty much been estimating the proportions of everything, cutting out the template for the gazillionth time. Acidic. Wait, what?
Acidic.
So the two boxes will connect like this. Next order of business, the feet. What I'm doing here is making a simple cube template, cutting them out, and making 3 more of the same template. Unfortunately, I got so carried away with the craft that I started to work away from the camera. Way to go, professional. But what matters more is that our 4 templates are complete. Taking one more random sheet of paper here, I'm cutting out 2 square pieces for the ears of the capybara. With that done, it's time to color. I'm taking out my brown colored pencil to do the trick. Speaking of trick, I was wondering why so many people online talk about gag this and gag that. Dumb me couldn't put 2 and 2 together and realize that gag is an abbreviation for Grow a Garden. I've played Grow a Garden several times due to its seemingly everlasting popularity. I can see why it can be addicting, given that there's so many ways to arrange your garden. If I had more time on my hands, I could see myself playing this for years on end. Okay, so here's our head template, which looks terrifying. Next, I'm coloring in the ears as well as the body, which is also getting the light brown treatment. I'm using a black colored pencil for the studs, which honestly should have used a less harsher color like dark brown.
But whatever.
Final step of the coloring is the feet, which will have a light brown skin and dark brown for the bottom of each foot. Now it's time to tape everything together, starting with the head, taping the head into a box, attaching the ears to the back. Likewise, I'm taping the body into a box and stuffing it with polyfill. Final step before assembly, I'm taping these templates into cubes. Let's move our notebook side. For assembly, I'm taping the feet onto the bottom of the body and the head onto the body as so. And here is our capybara paper squishy. If I'm being honest, I like the chili pepper squishy more, but this one's cool as well. Overall, I love how these turned out. Actually better than expected. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Meepyblues out.